안녕하세요. 세뱃돈. Hi everybody, welcome back to Monkey Monkey들 Cookbang channel. Hi, my name is Sophia. Happy New Year's guys! I'm super duper excited about today's video. I'm filming this video to show you guys what Koreans eat on the New Year's Day. So, the typical dish that we eat on the New Year's Day is tteokguk, which is kind of served prepared with slices of rice cakes. Koreans say you must eat the tteokguk to gain a year older, as Koreans turn a year older on the New Year Day. But I'm not going to show you guys how to cook tteokguk because I do not want to get 1 year older. But there are other special dishes that we can make on the New Year's Day, such as japchae, the Korean vermicelli noodles, which you can watch above. Also, we make dumplings and put it in the tteokguk, and that also you can watch this above. But today, I'm cooking sogalbijjim, which is a Korean braised beef short ribs. This dish was once a royal dish, but nowadays we often cook it on these special days like New Year days, birthdays, and Thanksgiving days. And this is a juicy, tender, brothy, rich, gourmet, and eye-catching dish that you could impress everyone's eyes, nose, and palate. Mwah. So, let's get it started! 새해 복 많이 받으세요! Okay guys, so let's start making sogalbijjim. So here are my ingredients. So I've got 1.5 kg of the beef short ribs. I've got 2 large spring onion, 1 large pear, half the apple, 1 carrot, 1 large onion, a thumb-sized ginger, and 10 juju, 500 grams of the Korean radish or dark radish, and 7 shiitake mushroom. These are only optionals, but I'm also using 5 dried chili, the ginkgo, and some pine nuts to garnish it final, and there's bay leaves, and this chestnut. Normally we use the raw chestnut and cook with it, but I couldn't find any, and so I'm using this cooked chestnut. And for the sauce, I am using. So before making braised short ribs, I think I need to get changed because this is humongous. So I'm gonna get changed. I got changed. Look at this. Beef short ribs, so pink and got just enough marblings of the fat. The traditional way of cooking the braised short ribs, you must soak this beef short ribs in cold water so that we can drain all the blood inside the flesh and inside from the bone. But my tip here, in order to drain blood quickly, you put 3 tablespoons of the sugar and 3 tablespoons of the mustard. The sugar helps to withdraw the blood much faster. So if you're just soaking it in cold water, you will have to do it at least half a day or minimum of 3-4 hours. By soaking it in a sugar, you only need to soak it for 40 minutes and that's enough. And also by adding the mustard, that just tenderizes the meat. So I'm using 3 tablespoons and also 3 tablespoons of the mustard, and I'll set that aside for 40 minutes, but I'm going to switch the water once and I'll do the same thing with the mustard and sugar. Okay guys, so while we are soaking the short ribs, we're going to prep the veggies and make the 양념장, the sauce. The galbijjim sauce should not be overpowering, so it shouldn't be so salty, It shouldn't be so sweet, it shouldn't be so like artificial flavor. So what I'm trying to do here is use a lot of natural ingredients. So first of all, I'm going to use this nashi pear or Korean pear and the half the apple. This is the nice natural sweetness to this braised stew, but also the pear really helps to tenderize this beef ribs. Ta-da! Some people just use as it is, but because the sogalbijjim was once a royal dish and it has to be really presentable and delicate and just clean. So I'm actually going to filter this puree and only use the juice. So I'm going to get all the juice out, and then in this juice we're going to make the sauce. And give it a nice stir. We're also going to add the spring onion, the steam pan. I'm going to use it later, so save it. So my sauce is done. So now we're going to prep the veggies. I am putting 500 grams of the daikon, 1 carrot, the chestnut, 10 juju, and also the shiitake mushroom. So I've soaked the shiitake mushroom for 20 minutes, so I'm just going to drain it. So with the shiitake mushroom, That's okay. I was meant to cut some half.
이 뭔 개소리야!
With the jujubes, you can just put it as it is. But in royal cuisine, they remove this hard stone and then roll it back like this. With this spring onion, I'm using it to garnish at the final. And the radish and the carrot. So with the carrot, I've just cut it into bite size, but also I always cut around the edges. If you don't remove the edges while they are getting cooked, the edges will flake off and make the stew rather more messy. So with the radish, and I'm going to remove all the edges around. So it's like a wee radish balls. Chestnut, because we are using cooked, but if you're using the fresh uncooked chestnut, you have to peel the hard layer outside. And with the skinco, I've already pan fried it and then peel the outside, the thin layers. All the preparation is done, but also it's been exactly 20 minutes. So I want to change this water with fresh. And we're gonna wait for another 20 minutes.
20 minutes later.
Okay guys, so it's been a total of 40 minutes. So we're going to give it a really good cleanse because there might be some bone powder or bone fragments while they were cutting this ribs. And that's all done. So I'm going to blanch this beef in a boiling water. So I'll blanch this for last 3-4 minutes and see how much scum and oil is floating around. That's why we are blanching the short ribs. By blanching the short ribs, also it's much easier to remove those excess fats. So you can also trim that as well. And if it's a big cut like this, you can also slice a little bit so the sauce can get into the meat and marinate the meat all nice and even. So not too deep, but like this. Small one, you can just skip it. We are braising this beef short ribs first before we put the marinade. And I am using this pressure cooker. But if you don't have this, you can just use a conventional pot, but it just takes double the time. So you'll be boiling at a medium heat for a good 40 minutes up to 50 minutes before we throw in the veggies and the sauce. So I'm going to throw all this short ribs, nom nom, and I'm putting this 1 onion to tenderize the meat and give the nice natural sweetness to the broth. Also going to put this 2 stem part of the green onion and this 4 bay leaves, and I'm also adding this 5 dry chili. This is not for me to make the broth spicy. So it just, removes the oily fatty taste and the texture. So I highly recommend adding some dry chili. And lastly, the thumb size fresh ginger. And we're going to top up some water. You must use boiling water because otherwise you're going to lose all the juiciness of the beef ribs. So I'm using 2 liters of the boiling water. Close this up. Abracadabra. And so I'll cook it at a high heat, let the pressure build up, and once it makes that crazy sound, I'm going to cook it for 20 minutes.
20 minutes later.
Okay guys, so my pressure pot has been going for the last 20 minutes, and so I'm going to turn it off. So I'm going to release the remaining pressure. So I'm going to open it up. I'm going to get all the veggies out. I'm just going to squeeze all the onion juice out because that's where the sweet part is. And then I'm going to get all the ribs out. See, oh my god, it just falls off the bone. And see how much the oil's floating around. So you want to skim off this fat by scooping the fats out. Or alternatively, you just strain this broth. So see how there's not much oil around it. So now I'm going to put all these veggies. And I'm going to put all the sauce. You're going to top it out with this broth. So I've put half. So we're going to cook it at a high heat for 20 minutes. and you want to cook the radish and all the veggies, but at the same time you just want to reduce down the sauce so that they get concentrated down. Bye big friends, abracadabra. Okay guys, so it's been total of 20 minutes. I'm going to get the carrots and check it's all cooked nice and soft. So I'll show you how to serve. So some glass noodles. And I've also cooked tteokguk, which I don't really like because I don't want to get old. So I've used the beef rib broth. And my finale, 갈비찜! So I'm serving on the stone pot. It just keeps the food really nice and hot for a long time. And you can also put it onto the portable gas so it's just bubbling and keeps it nice and hot while you enjoy the 갈비찜. And I'm going to add hint of sesame oil just to add a nutty flavor, and the spring onion, and this is optional, but also the pine nut, because the pine nuts are known for like a really gourmet nuts. And finally, some sesame seed. Okay guys, so my short French bread is ready. So japchae, the galbi tteokguk is all like one of those typical dishes that you would eat on New Year's Day. So I'm going to dig in the beef rib first. Wow, doesn't it look so colorful? And see how beef is just so tender. Oh my god, see the beef just falls apart. You normally just, grab. See, it just literally came off. Wow, I'm so excited. Oh, 야들. What the? It like literally just melts in your mouth. I didn't have to chew so many times. Wow. And you can just get the radish out too, but it's one of my favorite parts. So you just mix it up with some radish and some carrots and some meat, and I'm going to top up the kimchi. I love New Year's because it's a new beginning, but you get to eat so much nice food. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and comment it down below. And Happy New Year's again. So I hope you guys all have nice day in your New Year's, and make sure you get this habit done. So I will see you later.